Hey, Phil Jones here. And I love trying to make the moments count. So when I'm here at Mega Camp supporting some of the most progressive real estate professionals on the planet, and I'm speaking alongside one of the greatest speakers that I've had the chance to be able to work with, one of the most aspirational thought leaders for people to plug into, and the man behind some of the biggest successes of current personal brands that are happening in the marketplace is here, speaking alongside me. I thought I'd capture him and see if I can learn some of his wisdom. So welcome, my friend, Mr. Rory Vaden.
My brother, always good to be with you. I love sharing the stage. We're actually sharing
the stage. So Rory, real quick, is firstly, what is a personal brand? And secondly, why does it matter?
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is understanding what a personal brand is not. A personal brand is not social media, it's not graphics, it's not fonts, it's not colors, it's not logos, it's not dancing on videos, it's not a YouTube channel, it's not many of the things that people think it is, and most of all, a personal brand is not self-centered. What a personal brand is, the way we defined it, is the digitization of your reputation. It is what you are known for, and most of all, how can you provide value to the world? So it's not self-centered, it's service-centered. It's not about being front and center. We like to say it's about being front and serving.
Oh, man.
Simple as that. How can I add value to the world?
So real estate agents have traditionally tried to be able to build personal brand around themselves by sticking their faces on as many signs as possible, sticking their faces on billboards around the town, and showing up with a level of visibility, often using a photograph of themselves that is at least a decade older than what it should be. Like if we go back in time, that's my memory of what...
My number one tip, use AI to update your photo. Just use AI to update your photo.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. That's not what we're talking about.
As the industry goes through the monstrous change that's happening right now, as
Yes.
consumers are becoming insanely more educated about differences from a who to trust in the real estate space, why should agents be putting time, effort, energy, and perhaps even money into intentionally building a brand around themselves?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll say this. I never once thought when we started coaching authors and speakers and consultants on how to build their personal brand that it would one day become so relevant for real estate agents and all professional service providers.
Yeah.
And in a word, the answer is trust. The reason why you need to build your personal brand is because building a personal brand allows you to automate trust at scale. Automate trust at scale. Basically, people don't buy from you because they recognize your face.
Okay.
People buy from you because they trust you.
Right.
That's the same as it's always been. What's valuable today is that because of the tools of digital marketing and the modern era, there are more tools available, and it's easier than ever before to create content that allows you to automate trust.
Okay.
And that's really what this is. So you shouldn't get caught up so much in the terms personal branding, digital marketing, funnels, websites. What you should really do is you should revert to the age-old terms of integrity, trust, reputation. Because that's all this is. It's just being done through a digital medium, and that's what we've been doing and testing and teaching for years.
So it's about creating more intentional visibility, more intentional credibility, more intentional authenticity around what it is you do, so that people get to know, like, and trust you before they've got to meet you, which means they're more likely to meet you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you go, first of all, you say, who do we trust? If you make a list of who do you trust in your life? We trust people that we see most often.
Yeah.
You and I see each other a
Yeah.
lot. We have a lot of trust together. We trust people who we learn from, right? We trust coaches, we trust teachers, pastors, counselors, therapists. We trust people that we learn from. And so use the tools of the day to teach what you know to the person you once were. That's like one of our core philosophies is teach what you know to the person you once were, because if people learn from you just from watching you, they automatically trust you. So we trust people that we learn from, and then we trust people that we know intimate details about. That doesn't mean you need to share your entire life on social media, but you should know that the people who you trust most in your life, you probably know their kids' names. You probably know some things about their favorite foods and sports teams, but then you also know some of the things that are more intimate, like what their fears are and what their dreams are and what their hopes are. So all things that you can talk about online that enable people to trust you. And I would encourage you to have one of the three following content marketing strategies. We call this the 3 E's. You're either going to entertain people, you're going to encourage people, or you're going to educate people. You're going to entertain them, you're going to encourage them, or you're going to educate them. and hopefully some mix of the three.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not funny and entertaining like me, you're going to focus more on educational content and maybe encouraging content. But it doesn't matter. If you just do one of those three things, you're going to add value to people. They're going to hear about you. They're going to share you with friends. That people are going to know you. They're going to trust you. And inevitably, they're going to buy from you.
Something I hear from a lot of realtors is their goals and aspirations is to get out of production, get out of production, get out of production. So to get out of the day-to-day of prospecting, being in one-on-one conversations with people looking to buy and sell houses. And some of those people migrate towards this idea of, well, I can produce online content, I can start coaching and training others, I can look to be able to produce webinars and how-tos, etc. as a way of avoiding the work of being a real estate agent. I know that we talk about this from the speaking point of view, so I'm going to put you on the spot of this, how does a real estate agent use becoming a personal brand to grow their ability to buy and sell houses as opposed to a distraction from their ability to buy and sell houses?
Yes, absolutely. Well, look, if you, monetization strategy is one of the things that we focus and we teach. And the fastest path to cash for any of us is to monetize the thing we're already doing. It's not launching a course or writing a book or becoming a speaker, all things you could do, right? We know a lot about that. But what I would say for any entrepreneur, any professional service provider is to first go, rather than starting an entirely new business, what if I just took all of these tools and these things I love doing and created a marketing engine for my current business? What if I could just become a rainmaker? And you go, okay, you don't want to produce? Fine. Become a rainmaker and generate a whole bunch of leads for your team. I promise you'll make more money, a lot more money, a lot faster, with a lot less headache doing that than you will becoming some other type of content creator making money from ads on YouTube.
Trying to learn how to sell a mastermind or a course or any of those things.
You could do that, but it just doesn't make sense to do that in most cases.
To drive the core business, to drive the main machine, etc.
And then recruit people, right? So you go, great, now I'm a rainmaker, I have so many leads. Now I'll create content and I'll use that content to recruit people. And I'm just throwing fuel on the fire of the thing that I already have.
Right. And I think in the real estate space, something that's remarkably unique is the value of your personal brand inside the industry as opposed to just outside in the marketplace too. And much of that comes from doing things like agents getting invited to come speak on platforms like this to share their experience. And when they learn to speak and then they speak in front of a big audience like this one, their personal brand inside the industry goes up. They get referrals from people moving out of area. They get seen as the person in Orlando or the person in San Diego, etc. Is knowing that lots of agents get invited to speak at brokerage events, industry events, etc. As a fellow Hall of Fame speaker, what tips and advice would you give people to mean that when they get a moment, like speaking on a stage like this, that they maximize that moment, they leverage that moment, they utilize it to effectively grow their personal brand?
So the number one secret speaking tip that I can give you that is so simple that will immediately 10x your effectiveness as a speaker, you won't believe how simple this is. And it is to learn how to use and master pauses. Pauses. Pauses are powerful. And it all is about your delivery. It doesn't matter what I say. If I say pauses are powerful, that's one thing. But if I say pauses are powerful, totally different experience.
Totally different.
So learn to use pauses as a presenter and you will become a much more effective presenter.
Yeah, and I think on that is often when you care so much about these moments that you're up on stage, is you get all up in your head like I have to rehearse, I have to learn my script, I have to know my lines, to a point that you deliver your presentation like it's perfect and like you're reading it, and it all comes out monotone, whether that's all fast, all slow, or all middle, it's the same difference. But when people speak about something they care about, they pause. They don't speak in full structured sentences. The cadence of the way that you're encouraging people to appreciate the message almost feels like you're